Hi, my name is Wilx, and this is episode 5 of Direwolf20 on 1.12. Today we're going to do a whole pile of stuff. We're going to automate plastic sheets, Menril chunks, we're going to make a ring of the flying squid, we're going to make some grid power for it, a tome of knowledge, we're going to make a magnetic ring, we're going to upgrade our backpack, and that's just to name a few. There's other stuff we're doing too. Before we get started, I made some changes over here after comments that I got from people. So there's two things I did differently. Well, notice I'm getting piles of experience, but we'll get to that in a minute. In the meantime, I've changed this. I took it from 30% to 35%. Yanni22 had suggested that the wiki was wrong, and it didn't take a consistent 61k for each block. It took somewhere between 61k and 101k. For instance, iron and coal are both up at 101k. So if it tried to do it when there was less than 101k in it, you would get cobble. So I've changed that over now. Now I think I solved my cobble issue. There's a few up there, but I think that's from something else, what we're going to get to next, because I did solve it for this aspect. The next one that I just found out before I made this episode is Cyberbango suggested that I switch to a mechanical miner from a block breaker. The reason for this, the main reason anyways, is the auto block breaker was turning the IC2 metals into basalt, instead of into metal, and that the miner didn't have this problem. And then the other bonus that the miner gives up experience, which you can suck up as well. Now he warned me about something when I did change it over, that I was going to have to upgrade it to 7 ticks from my relay. And he said to use 2 relays to do it. So I tried that, and it worked flawlessly the way he suggested it. But I had to run out and around like this to handle 2 relays. And I didn't like the way it looked. So I decided to use a second sequencer. This is where my problems began. Not because there's anything wrong with the sequencer, just because I didn't know what I was doing. So I set up the sequencer so that it's when it sees a redstone signal, loop the cycle once and restart if a new pulse arrives, which sounded perfect on the description. And I put it to 7 of these, which would be there, and it didn't work. I kept getting cobble. I'm going, well, what the hell? I'm setting at 7 ticks here. Why did it work for the relays and not for this? And I played around. I put it way down here, and it worked. But then it was too slow, etc. And I finally came up to the conclusion that I think each one of these is half a tick, not a tick. So I put it at 14, and it seems to be working just fine now. Now if I still get any cobble up... Okay, I got 2 more cobble. So maybe 14 isn't enough. Let's set it there. And see if... I heard something go off. So at least 1 cobble got in here. 2 cobble. Let's see if we've solved it or not. Okay, so I might have to play with this a little bit. Yeah, I'm still getting cobble. Damn it. So I don't know where it needs to be. Maybe I'm not right. There is another cobble. No. Oh, what's wrong? Okay, so I may have to play with this a little bit. I'll let you know what I finally come up with where it does work. But it's working a lot better now anyways. Okay, let's not spend much more time on that one. I will get it to work. And let's do some other stuff. Oh, yeah. Actually, one more thing on that one. I want to suck up that experience somehow. So I want to make an absorption hopper. And an absorption hopper... Now, actually, there's two possible ways to suck up the experience that I know of. There may be others. You can tell me in the comments if there's other good methods. Integrated thingies. Where is it? World Fluid not exporter. World Fluid importer. I think this could do it from integrated tunnels, but I need to go to the end to get this stuff. So that's out. The other option that I know of is the absorption hopper. And for that we need an Eye of Ender, which means we need blaze powder. And I haven't been to the end yet. Sorry, I have. But I haven't killed any blazes. I'm going to be doing that next episode. There's got to be a way that I can get this stuff. And let's see what options we have here. Well, fluid transposer with destabilized redstone can get us blaze powder. To get that, though, we're going to need a magma crucible. And to get a magma crucible, we're going to need nether brick. To get nether brick, we're going to need brick with lava. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to try to make one of those. So we'll make I needed a fluid transposer anyways, so we'll come over here. And our fluid transposer is going to go right here. And then we're going to take this, whoops, we'll switch that method over. We'll put one lava in there. And another lava in there. And then, what I didn't bring was our bricks. And we'll switch that again, put the bricks in, and that's going to make our nether bricks. Okay, so while that's doing its thing, let's go over here and we'll do some other stuff. We're going to want a casting basin. This is just a regular tinkerer's one. We're going to want some transfer pipe as a crafting ingredient. We'll put one in there. That gets us some transfer node items. Again, that's a crafting ingredient for me. And we'll put one in there, and that's going to get us transfer node fluids. And then we're going to make an anvil. What we're going to do with the anvil is we're going to put it there. We're going to take one of the fluid ones, and that gets us 8 flat transfer node fluids. We're going to do the same thing, but with the item one now, and that gets us 8 flat transfer node items. What's so good about these things is they're flat. You can stick them in between two machines and don't have to leave a gap. So they're really cool the way those work. Okay, is this thing still doing its... No, it's done. Okay. So, nether bricks. I think I'd put it here, yeah. Okay, so we've got a conductance coil and a reception coil. Those are Invar gears, that, and a machine frame. I made a bunch of machine frames at some point. So now we got our magnet crucible. And we'll put our magnet crucible over here. And we're going to need some redstone. How many redstone? Oh, I know what I didn't bring with me. I didn't bring one of those. Actually, I should have put the redstone in there right away. Is it 2 that I need? I totally forget. And then we're going to set this thing up with that there. And you're going to input from that side. You're going to output to that side. Boom, we got our blaze powder. Cool. So we're going to come over here. I don't think I got anything set up for this guy. Blaze powder and a ender pearl. Gets an eye of ender. And we need 3 of those. Whoops, not you. You, and you. Gets us our absorption hopper. Cool. And I think I've got a tank I made that I'm not using. Yes, we'll just use this for now. It's not big enough, but it'll do for just now. See this thing spewing experience all over the place, and I don't want to lose that experience. Okay, so let's just put the tank on top of that. And we'll put the absorption hopper there. We are pointing north. And fluid to the north. And there we go. It's sucking up the experience. It's going to suck up the experience and stick it into that tank. So that's taken care of. So to be clear, I don't recommend doing it this way to get your blaze power. To just go kill a blaze in the nether. That's much easier. But because I could do it, I decided to do it on camera and show you. All right. Let's go down to some more crafting here. We need some basic drawers. Watch what happens when I shift-click this. Sticks them in the next table. I hate these tables for that. Okay, I need that as a crafting ingredient. I actually only need 3 drawers, but oh well. I tacked on some more at the end there because I didn't have enough spaces. And where is that thing? And our key. And then we need another auto placer. A tree fluid extractor. A latex processing unit. Those are just iron gears. And a redstone furnace. I could use any type of furnace, so I just picked this one. Then a Minecraft dropper as a crafting ingredient. And that makes us a mechanical crafter. And you're for something later. Okay, so we'll work with this stuff for now. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our auto placer, put it right here, and we're going to hit it once with the wrench. That points it up. And we're going to open up its inventory, and we're going to give it a stack of logs. So it puts a log up on top of it, just like that. Then we're going to take our tree fluid extractor, and I'm going to slap it on the log. Now it's pointing at this, and it is gathering latex. Now, the tree fluid extractor is not to be confused with the arboreal extractor. This gets sap and resin. Let's see, where is it here? Resin, yeah. Sap and resin from trees. The spruce gives off resin. Oh, by the way, well, no, let's finish off what I'm doing. This, on the other hand, gets you latex from logs. Those do not eat the tree. This eats the log. That's why the placer. Now I notice that in a lot of other people's videos, they're putting 4 of these tree fluid extractors around one log. That's inefficient on logs. You'll go through twice as many logs for the same amount of fluid. See, the way these things work is each time they tap a log, there's a percentage chance of destroying that log, or incrementally. And when you put 4 of it on, they sort of combine together, and you're going to get half as much fluid out of your logs when you combine them that way. It's better if it takes a little longer. Okay, so in other words, if you want 4 of them, give them each their own block breaker. Do it that way. So this thing is doing its stuff. Oh, I said something over here. On this, I said I was going to do it, and I did do it. I took one of the augments out, so it's now drawing 80 RF per tick instead of 120 RF per tick. Minor point, but I just mentioned that I did do it. Now I want to place one of those flat transfer fluid things underneath this, and to get there, I'm now on 1.4 of this pack. I could either break a hole in the ground, or I killed a spider. I'll become a spider. Now I'm down 1 block tall, and I can click on the bottom there. And then I hit enter and go back. It's the left bracket to get there. Okay, so we got that thing down there. And then we're going to put the latex processing unit underneath this. Now I heard a zombie. Do I see a zombie? No, he must be underneath me. Okay, so this thing is now creating latex. Oh no, it's taking latex and creating tiny dry rubber. Oh, and it needs water as well, which it's getting from that sink down there, and it needs power. It's got power underneath it. We're going to take one of these flat transfer item ones, stick it on there, and we're going to drop down our mechanical crafter. So it's getting the tiny dry rubber now. And that's going to make it into dry rubber. Then we're going to take another one of these, and we're going to slap... Oh no, we don't. Actually, we don't need it. I take that back. We're going to put down a redstone furnace here. I'm hearing a zombie. And we're going to have it input from the back and export to the top. And we're going to have auto input enabled. So it's going to draw in the dry rubber. The tiny dry rubber won't come in, so you don't need to worry about filtering it. And then we're going to take one of our drawers, stick it there. And boom, we now have an automated way of getting our plastic sheets. All fits in a nice little section like that. Now for this, we're going to stop that. We're going to have it draw in from the top. We're going to switch modes and output the fluid to its left. Then we're going to drop down a chest like that. Take the Menril wood, stick it in there. Auto input enabled. So it's sucking the stuff in there. And then we're going to take and put a casting basin down here. See, it sucks in the fluid and instantly turns it into one of those blocks. So we're going to stick one of these flat transfers there, and that there, and boom. Now it's going to turn those 64 Menril wood into 64 of these blocks. Now that all came up because Banzai Run had suggested in the comments that I was knocking down those trees and only getting 4 of the chunks each time I knocked down an entire tree, which was taking me forever to get me all the chunks I wanted. And he said you can use a squeezer, which is a manual thing that you got to jump on top of, to squeeze the fluid out of these logs, and then put it in something called a dryer to deal with it. Well, the fluid transposer is a lot easier. After I looked it up on NEI and figured out what I was doing. And the casting basin is much quicker than the dryer. So that's why I did it that way. All right. What's next? We're going to make some grid power. So first off, we're going to make a resonator. That's just a block of coal up there. And then I've already made 2 of these, so this is a 3rd one. And that's just stone bricks, which is basically stone in a configuration like this. You get stone bricks. You do another configuration, you get polished stone. I've already made 1 stack of it, so like 4. And so now I've got 8 of them. Here's the other 2. And I'm going to make a manual mill. Now, you see, last time in Project Ozone Light, I used solar to do this. But I decided this time I was going to do it differently. I was going to show you the way to do it with a manual method. So you put the manual up. See, the idea is this resonator needs grid power to work. And we've got to make some polished stone into Stoneburnt. See, it takes 8 grid power for each one of these. So we're going to do it with this. And we just manually turn it. And it takes a little while, but not that long. I want you to see that it was actually a reasonable amount of time. See, it's already done 1. And we got to do 6 of them before we can make a water mill, which we can produce 16 grid power from 1 water wheel. It gets 4 per side. So I wanted to see that this isn't such a bad solution. It might even be a little bit easier than making a whole pile of solar. Like you got to make, what, 9 solar to accomplish this. And they're pretty useless after you've got the water mills up and you've wasted all those materials on making solars. Now I've completely lost count here, but it'll let me know when it's finished. You can see the grid power going up each time, and each time it reaches 8, it makes a new one. And the reason we need this grid power, there we go, is for the next thing we're going to make, which is the ring of the flying squid. So let's go over, oop, I'm going too far. Then we take our Stoneburnt, and we'll make a water mill. And I put it out here. I'll probably put it in another dimension or something later, but this will do for now. And so we'll put that in the middle, then we'll put 1 water there, and another water there. So it's got flowing water on all 4 sides, and it's now putting out 16 grid power, which is exactly what we need for the ring. So I need to build more of that stuff later. It's night. Let's get rid of this rain. I'm sick of it. All right. So for the ring of the flying squid, I made a golden lasso, which is just some gold nuggets and some string, and I caught a chicken in it, and I put that in the center there, and I got some feathers from some chickens. Took me a while to find chickens, but I found them. And that gets you a chicken wing ring. And when we've got that thing on us, we've got kind of flight. Not really. But if we take the chicken wing ring and we put it in here, and that's a golden lasso with a squid in it, and you need 4 black dye. It doesn't have to be ink sacs. But I found a whole pile of squid, so I used them. And an ender pearl, and you get a ring of the flying squid. So now, just in my inventory, it's not even on my bar, and it works kind of like a jetpack. Actually, I'm going to kill myself like that. Let's deal with something here. Let's get out our boots. I'll put those away. Now when we go up, so it's not exactly creative flight, but it's enough to get you around, like a jetpack would. Alright, so speaking of our backpack thing here, let's upgrade it. So we can make it into an iron backpack by just taking, notice it's still got all its stuff inside it. Put it in there, and we get an iron backpack. And if we pull that out, notice it still has the stuff, and now we get an extra 2 rows of stuff we can put inside it. Let's do that again. Actually, just before we do, notice there's 2 different ones. There's one with storage emphasis, means you get more slots, and one that allows you to put in extra upgrades. But currently in this pack, we don't have very many upgrades. Nothing that's interesting me at all. Like we can show, there's a damage bar one that can show you how much is in it, but I'm not really worried about that one. But all the same, so this one increases the number of slots. This one allows for more of these. Now, when they're all implemented, there are some interesting things you can do with it. So let's put that in, and now we've got a gold one. And we got another 2 rows of slots. All right, so backpack's taken care of. What's up next? Let's get on to the Tome. The Tome of Knowledge. So it does take a couple of emeralds. I got those from trading villagers. And books I got from villagers as well. So the Tome of Knowledge. What this thing does is it stores your experience. Stores experience within its pages. Use while sneaking to retrieve the stored knowledge. Okay, so watch. If we... I'm shift-clicking. No, I'm not shift-clicking. Sorry, I'm right-clicking. And it put all my experience in the thing. If I shift-click, right-click, I can pull it all back out. So that way, 2 things. One, it can save me if I die. I don't lose my experience that way. And 2, if I'm crafting something, let's say it takes 4 levels of experience, and I have like 50 levels, I'll then have 46. Or if I put it all in there and put it back, I will have used less than 1 level. So it's much more efficient that way. I explained that poorly, but I've explained it in other videos before better. This thing in here. Okay. We're going to make a ring. That was a crafting ingredient. We'll put it in here. Okay, so we're going to make a ring of magnetism. That is basically iron in an atomic reconstructor, redstone in an atomic reconstructor, and we got a ring of magnetism. But notice this thing, it wants power. And I don't have any way of charging things yet. So the only one I know of so far, I'm not saying there aren't others, just the one I do know of, is the Energizer. If there's other methods that are better for powering these things up, let me know what they are, because normally I've always stuck them in Ender IO capacitor banks, but we don't have Ender IO. So I'll make some basic coils, 2 of them. Take the basic coils, put them in here. We get 2 advanced coils. Those are gold nuggets. Take our 2 of those, and the iron casings, I'm still getting those from the villagers. And we get an energizer. We put our energizer over here somewhere, and we stick our ring in. And that's going to power up our ring. Okay, I think that does it. Yeah, and it's just basically a magnetic ring, so I don't really need to show you that too much. Yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I hope you learned something new. Hope to see you next time. Go out there and have some fun. Thanks.